Warpath thinks he's more impressive than his comrades do, as he likes to show off his sharp shooting. Boisterous and loud-mouthed, his raucous sense of humor, however, makes him welcome company. Warpath is also vain, and upset by even the smallest scratch to his gun barrel. He can go 30 miles per hour over the roughest terrain, and he can hit a hex nut 1.5 miles away. He shoots explosive, thermal, cryogenic, acid, and sonic shells. Warpath has great strength, but he is left helpless if he is upended in vehicle mode. Transforming into an M551 Sherman tank, the original Warpath toy was first released by Hasbro in 1985 in the second-year assortment of the Transformers. Although this was the toy's first ever release, it is widely believed that he and his fellow Autobot mini-vehicles from the second wave were originally designed for, but never released into Takara's microchange line from Japan. Like his mini-vehicle contemporaries, he was introduced later in the story, with no explanation of where he came from. However, in Marvel Comics, he was part of an underground Autobot resistance cell back on Cybertron. Eventually, led by Blaster, he and his comrades would come to Earth via the space bridge. In exclusive UK Marvel storylines, Warpath was featured defending Washington, D.C. from an infestation of Decepticons. Warpath came to the G1 cartoon midway through the second season, and was featured throughout, voiced by the legendary Alan Oppenheimer.
Whack! Zag! Sarge! Zing! We got a zoom! I'm glad I'm going on the mission. Blam! I want another crack at him. Kazowie! Okay, guys, transform and zoom! Move out! Let's blam those Decepticons!
His most notable appearance was in Season 2's Decepticon RAIDER in King Arthur's Court, where he, Spike, and fellow Autobot Hoist travel back to medieval times. Although he never appeared in Transformers the movie, an animated slaughterfest of all your favorite characters, his toy did remain available through 1986, thus allowing him to appear in Season 3. He even leads in the defense of the Autobot base and Teletran 1 against a rampaging Trypticon. Spoiler alert, Casey Kasem left the show, and Warpath's defense plan didn't quite work out.
It never stood a chance, boy.
Just like that, we're all back for another episode of Leo Watches Transformers, or in the immortal words of Marcellus Wallace,
I'ma get medieval on your ass.
So, without any further ado, let us watch the first ever G1 cartoon, but certainly not the last involving time travel. This is Season 2, Episode 40, A Decepticon Raider in King Arthur's Court. We open on Decepticon shenanigans just outside of Stonehenge, with no further explanation.
Wonderful! I don't have enough energy left to short-circuit a servo mechanism!
Autobot Warpath says, not today, bitch.
Wham! Bang! Warpath's on the roll! Oh! I just changed heads last week!
Wait a minute! There's energy!
Energy?
Yeah! It's coming from these stones!
Sensing much-needed energy inside, the Decepticons enter the structure to investigate.
Bam! Gotcha! Who's bang!
Your senses were right! There is energy in here! Out of the way, Rumble!
Being the selfish schmuck that he is, Starscream activates the stone tablet's secret energy, as the Autobots clear the wreckage from outside. As our villains exit the cave, not all is as it seems.
Look! It is not blocked anymore!
And the Autobots are gone!
Giant armored knights? From the Dragon Mound?
Robots ahead!
Could be trouble!
You better believe it! There's some kind of weird-looking Autobots! And they're attacking me!
As ancient knights attack, we all learn what we already knew. Decepticon beats horse.
We're doomed! ground! Inferior construction, even for an Autobot. One good whack, it breaks right in two.
Not Autobots, but humans pretending to be robots.
Sir Wagand of Blackthorn pretends to nothing. What would I not give to see these fellows arrayed against Sir Atheling the Red?
Interesting technology, but not very modern.
What means thou? It was made this year.
And that stone room must have been a time transporter. Human, it suits my purpose to help you defeat your enemy.
Oh, those magical knights against my father. I must warn him.
So dictates the plot.
A spy! After him!
Before Ravage can claim his prisoner, our heroes arrive to the past, presently.
Hey, what's the matter?
With that, the Autobots bring themselves up to speed on things that we, the audience, already knew.
We must get away from here before the dragon returns.
I find it hard to believe that my databank dates your costume to 542 AD. You mean?
Fashion is always a year behind Camelot out here in the countryside. Wilt thou help us against the other giant knights?
In no way fazed by a tank or a tow truck, Nimue joins them, as if this is all completely normal.
You're going to need help.
Hoist, I need some help too.
Spike fall down. Awesome.
I'll do what I can.
As Hoist sets about making better armor, Sir Athley lays down his beef with Blackthorn.
Cows, Sir Hoist. They wandered through...
As with most things in life, events hinge on the fragile egos of two rich assholes, locked in an epic dick-measuring contest.
The tournament is simply an excuse to get him here to settle things peacefully. I hope.
Hoist, what's wrong?
Getting low on energy.
Spike falls down again. Huzzah!
Take this. Thou shalt be my champion on the field of honor.
What can possibly go wrong?
Okay, kiddo, now aim for the center of the guy's shield and clang! Hang on to your horse!
Sir Spike, my champion.
So says the plot.
Go, Spike, get him!
Spike is knocked on his ass a third time. This is a great episode.
Sir Wagand, I bid thee welcome.
And I bid thee hold thy tongue, unless thou art willing to settle our dispute in battle.
So be it. I'll meet thee at arms.
Correction. Thou shalt meet my champions. Sir Rumble and Sir Ramjet.
What you waiting for, Red Knight? Don't you want to rumble with Rumble?
No laser power left, but we're still gonna whoosh clean their clocks!
As our heroes win, the princess gloats, but Starscream, being the dastardly rapscallion that he is in no mood for this bullshit.
I've had enough of this chivalrous nonsense. Red Knight, surrender your kingdom to me within 24 hours, or never see your daughter again!
Capturing Nimue and taking her to the danger zone, Starscream kicks off our first commercial break. And now, if you're a fan of Autobots with bizarre speech impediments, this one's for you. Warpath's original toy was discontinued in 1987 from retail, and unlike many other trademark names and characters from the franchise, Warpath would not return to shelves until after the turn of the century. Although he never appeared in the live-action Michael Bay series, 2008 saw a tie-in release of a new Warpath, having no real connection to the original G1 character. He was a retool of Overhaul from 2005's Transformers Cybertron. This version of Warpath only appeared in tie-in comic books. An additional Bayverse Warpath was seen in 2011's Dark of the Moon video game tie-in, this time designed and based more directly on his G1 counterpart. In 2009, Warpath was featured in Transformers Animated as a member of the Autobot Elite Guard. As the Autobots on this series would never be designed to transform into weapons of war, This Warpath transformed into a mobile radar vehicle. His name would now refer to his personality, as he was a total hard-ass on prisoners.
Lousy draft dodging piece, Nick.
In 2010's Transformers War for Cybertron video game, Warpath appears as a Cybertronian hover tank, partially hard of hearing from his own thunderous cannons. He would also return in the 2012 sequel game, Fall of Cybertron. Since the early 2000s, classic Warpath has been seen in new comic books of Generation 1. Some of his most recent releases include the Combiner Wars series, as well as Transformers Kingdom. Despite his less appealing behaviors, Warpath is strong, brave, and a loyal friend to his fellow Autobots. An honorable warrior who never runs from a fight.
Don't let Starscream get away!
We now return to Horses vs. Jet. Guess who wins?
Prithee, help!
I'm getting so low on energy, Hoist, I can't even stay transformed!
And now, this happens, apparently.
Solomon, what an unexpected pleasure! Kidnap the fair Nimue? Make some idiot 20 feet tall, he thinks he rules the earth. Thou who playest with fire might find himself singed by the dragon's breath.
That dude is so high.
Just wait till my father gets here.
As their energy gets lower, the Decepticons must resort to desperate measures.
Lord Starscream, here's the gold jewelry as demanded. Wolf, what art thou doing? Those belong to my grandmother.
Why, thank you, because I need them to make wire for my new electric dynamo. Well, hurry it up, Sparkhog! Hurry it up! Ha! There's hardly enough to charge my basic life support systems. Faster, you malingering peasants!
Elsewhere, Spike pines away like a little bitch.
It's all my fault, Warpath. I was Nimue's champion, and I should have protected her.
Spike is sent off to handle shit on his own. Once again, what can possibly go wrong? As the Decepticons barely power themselves up, their next move is to arm themselves any way that they can. This leads to poop jokes in Transformers.
No, Rumble, not I. Me and my big mouth.
Elsewhere, Nimue and Blackthorn work out their differences, and then decide to get it on.
What?
But I'll do my best to change.
Thou wilt?
Yes.
Spike climbs the tower, acting out his favorite scene from Game of Thrones. This time it ends with a medieval cockblock.
I'm here to rescue!
They say comedy comes in threes, but when it comes to Spike, I'm always happy for a little bit more.
Starscream! Lower the troll brakes! I've got your stupid potassium nitrate.
It's funny because he's covered in poop.
But thanks to the ingredients you've gathered, what we do have is...
Gunpowder!
I only hope the Autobots are stupid enough to attempt to rescue.
Spoilers. They are.
Want to be saved from Sir Wygan when we've just decided to get married.
Oh.
What a wanker. With Warpath and Hoist leading the charge, the opposing army advances on the Decepticon stronghold.
All right, knights, let's go! Blam! Sing 'em! Fire!
As the Decepticons defend themselves with unexpected boom booms, taking the castle proves to be more difficult than anticipated. He's a drawbridge. You get it? Inside the castle, Blackthorn is betrayed by his own knight, Sir Wolf, who responds with uncanny superhuman strength.
Sir Wolf, thou must help me stop this. Sure, I'll help thee right into the moat. Lord Starscream, just relieve thee of thy command.
When all hope is lost, Spike is emasculated for our entertainment once again. What a putz.
Actually, the pleasure was all mine.
Don't forget about me!
In physical combat, Warpath finds he is too weak to defeat Ramjet.
Energy. Without energy, we're done for.
As we come to our next break, we pray Spike's imminent death is not another fake-out. It's so rare that we get an episode with such a small voice cast, and one of the exciting things is the majority of them I've already made videos for. Some of them you've already recognized, I'm sure. Corey Burton, who is the voice of Spike in this episode, is also the voice of Bjort the Wizard. Michael Chain, the voice of Hoist, is also Sir Blackthorn. Christopher Collins, aka Chris Latta, is the voice of Starscream, with Frank Welker as Rumble, Ravage, and Megatron. A couple people that I haven't made videos for yet, but they're coming up in the next few weeks. One is Alan Oppenheimer, who is the voice of Warpath, as well as Beachcomber and Sea Spray. In this episode, he is also the voice of Sir Atheling. And then, of course, Jack Angel, who is the voice of Ramjet, Omega Supreme, Ultra Magnus, and many others. And in this episode, he's also the voice of Sir Wolf. And a featured guest star, Joy Grednick, in the voice of Nimue. She also comes back for other voices throughout Season 3, including Bonnie Carlson and Jessica Morgan from The Return of Optimus Prime.
You must be Jessica Morgan. I hear I owe you my life.
I'm just happy to have you here. The metal my father, Dr. Swafford, and I had been working on is impervious to heat and radiation.
And now, if I may recycle a clip I've already used.
I'ma get medieval on your ass.
2017 saw the release of the fifth and final live-action film directed by Michael Bay in the series, with Transformers: The Last Knight. During development, Michael Bay saw concept art for two other Transformers spin-off movies, one depicting Transformers in medieval England, and a second depicting Transformers fighting in World War II. Since his movie wasn't quite over 3 hours yet, Bay insisted on having both these ideas in his film. The results were pure cinema magic. In the previous film, Stanley Tucci collected a sizable check to play tech industry leader Joshua Joyce. Several years later, Tucci would return to receive more easy money in the role of Merlin in the opening prologue of The Last Knight. Whether or not he is meant to be the ancestor of the character we saw in the previous film is never made clear. What is made clear is that Michael Bay was super jealous of the scope and success of Lord of the Rings. One thing J.R.R. Tolkien never had in his stories was ancient Transformers living on Earth. And as a fan of Transformers and Lord of the Rings, I think we can all be really thankful for that. This opening prologue had the clear influence of more than one inspiration from the Transformers universe. In addition to the clear parallels with Generation 1's Season 2 episode Decepticon Raider in King Arthur's Court, ancient Transformers influencing European history and lore go all the way back to the United Kingdom's exclusive stories in Marvel Comics. Whereas American readers received an 80-issue run, readers in the UK were given the same story, plus much more. Most issues and stories released in the UK were only half of what were read in America, supplemented with expanded stories that were released only there, set between the events of what we already knew. New exclusive comics and stories would continue on in the UK long after American comics were cancelled. These new books would feature expanded lore and original characters that live on with Transformers fans across the globe today. The earliest of these exclusive stories was known as the Man of Iron, involving the legend of an ancient Transformer in medieval England. A local boy named Sammy is swept up in an unexpected adventure as warring Autobots and Decepticons converge on a historic castle, built to hide a long-lost spaceship. After the Autobots left Cybertron only to never return, a rescue ship was sent out in search of them. Local legend from over 900 years ago tells of a man of iron who fought to protect the kingdom and helped to build their civilization. Young Sammy accidentally spots Jazz in the woods one day. He is later shocked to realize he fits the description of the ancient warrior. This story was released years later as issues 33 and 34 of the American Marvel run. A year after the death of Optimus Prime, he suddenly shows up briefly, only to disappear again in the following issue into a void of beguiling continuity. With beautiful classic Marvel artwork and eerie lighting, this unique take from the human's point of view helps to illustrate why they would fear the Autobots and Decepticons alike. An idea highlighted by a cliffhanger in which Autobot Jazz is forced to commit a shocking child abduction. We return to Spike cowering like a little bitch, as he is saved by an owl, of all things.
So these are the famous giant...
Skipping about a dozen major plot beats. All the characters who need to be friends and on the same side conveniently are now. Wow, that worked out great.
Kilwas, god of the sky, I know not of science, but if thou wilt bring these giants life...
And with that, shit is on.
I don't know how you did that, but it sure felt good!
Revived to minimal power, the Autobots are now in level playing field with their Decepticon foes.
I can transform again! Then let's wham! Go get 'em!
Faster!
Going full Helm's Deep on their asses, our heroes breach the wall at last. In a bold effort to make tow trucks cool and marketable to kids, Hoist tears shit up Demolition Derby style. Elsewhere, your childhood self wants to puke.
It's beautiful.
Later that night, when they returned to the future, Warpath cheered up Spike with booze. And hookers. See, kids? Everything works out in the end.
What will you do with them?
Take them back with us.
Hoist said time. Why, these valiant knights, they're time travelers.
Wow, how wise. As our running time fast approaches the ending, it turns out the wizard had been conveniently working on a way to time travel the whole time. Complete with one final medieval-themed obstacle for our heroes to overcome. Talk about wrapping things up.
Don't worry, I've got a full dose of Dragon's Bane. It works every time.
Armed with Dragon's Bane, Warpath now has a fighting chance.
There's no reason it shouldn't work. I used all the normal ingredients. Sulfur, rock salt, seagull droppings, charcoal.
Well, all right!
As the shoehorned action sequence ties up quickly, our heroes return home with their prisoners in tow. As everything returns back to normal in present day, Megatron makes a brief cameo in the end, as we suddenly realize this is the first ever episode where we don't see Optimus Prime. Sadly, not the last.
What's the matter? Aren't you glad to see us?
Ooh, Megatron is pissed. Well, that was a silly and fun episode. And you know, they only really had a few errors, but what else am I doing with my time? Let's be honest. How are the Decepticons the only ones to ever find, enter, or use this time portal before now? Why is Warpath's aim so conveniently off? And would he risk destroying a potentially historic structure?
Inferior construction, even for an Autobot. One good whack, it breaks right in two.
It's like the Decepticons have never seen a human or a horse before. Everyone in the distant past seems pretty relaxed seeing Transformers for the first time.
Take this. Thou shalt be my champion on the field of honor.
Spike can barely stand up while wearing his armor. Why would she choose him for her champion?
Some champion, alas.
At least I hung on to my horse.
See?
The Autobots can't have followed us here. This is my world to conquer. Mine!
How is this a surprise to him? Ravage saw the Autobots already. Ramjet's head is perfectly fine for the rest of this episode. Why are they taking orders from the Decepticons when they can easily wait them out until they run out of juice?
But if you wanna, go on ahead and see what you can do.
Sending Spike off to face the Decepticons by himself is the definition of stupid. Starscream is heard speaking, but he is only seen mouthing half the words.
No, Rumble, not I.
Nimue, I want to...
I can't...
How and why did she throw a stool at that angle? Spike magically escapes his armor underwater. In reality, this is a death sentence. Too bad. This episode teaches kids how to make gunpowder, multiple times.
Sulfur, rock salt, seagull droppings, charcoal.
Seriously, how does he lift him over his head while he's in his full armor? Again, how many centuries went by and nobody found or used the Dragon Mound before the Decepticons? Like, not even the guy that built it. The joke's on them, the dragon flew off and simply killed everyone in both kingdoms.
Godspeed to you all!
Goodbye!
We'll never forget thee!
Except for leaving them out of written history. Well, I do hope they'll do better next time. And hey, speaking of next time, please come back for our next episode, The Golden Lagoon. Another one of my personal favorites. It not only has great animation, and it has a fun story, it also features one of my personal favorite characters, Beachcomber, voiced by Alan Oppenheimer. So, in the meantime, please like, share, and subscribe, and I do hope to see you back for the next episode. Thanks for watching, and take care.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Goodbye.